All right. Are we good? Can we get it? Here for another wacky, silly, goofy episode. Hold on. Making sure we're live. We good. Epic. Wonderful. Hey, Slowpokes. It's Taurus101. Welcome back to World Building Wednesdays. We actually get to make words this time. Um, very, very awesome. I do have to go in like 25 minutes. But it'll be short. So I'll be right back after that. I got bread to make. Oop, that's caps lock. Uh, E couldn't have said it better myself. So this time last time we discovered, or not discovered, we established all of our syntax rules and some complex phonotactics here. And this time we get to make the lexicon. So, well, actually, first, before we get to make the words, we've got to establish our noun cases and our classes. Because with our ablaut system, we get to switch between them very easily. So we got to actually write that up real quick. So we have ergative absolutive alignment. Now, what that means is yeah. So what that means, the agent, the subject, and the object. So, transitive verbs versus intransitive verbs. Transitive verbs are those that can have an agent. Like, I give, right? I give to you, let's say, right? Let me zoom in a bit. Here, the I is the subject. Let's make that more pleasant. Give is the verb. Oh. Frickin' heck. Bruh. I know how to type. I promise. I give, let's make that a little darker. There we go. I give to you. And again, wow. I give to you. So I is the subject, give is the verb, you is the object, right? So give is a transitive verb because it can take on an object, essentially. But the word I yawn, right? That doesn't really mean anything. Or it obviously means I yawn, right? But to you, I mean, I yawn towards you, I guess. But the point is that this doesn't need to have an object in order to make sense. This is an intransitive verb. So the way that nominative versus accusative alignment works is that nominative combines the subject and agent into the same case. So it would be nominative verb to object. Or nominative verb, right? And then, Or it would be nominative verb, accusative, or just the nominative verb. But in ergative absolutive alignment, it combines the agent and object. So it would be... Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I'm getting this right. Ergative absolutive, yeah. Absolutive. So subject and transitive object are treated the same way. In nominative accusative alignment, the subject and agent are treated the same way. Right, so here it would be ergative verb absolutive. But here it would just be absolutive verb, right? I think so. The agent of a transitive verb, the object of a transitive verb, the core argument, the subject of an intransitive verb. Yeah. So this is basically what we're working with here. Our language has this one, Proto-Wolfreg, which the name is subject to change. I'm going to rename this Proto-Wolfreg. So that means one of our cases has to be ergative. Another case has to be absolutive. Let's check out what other cases, right? Uploads. Okay. Probably declined for 8 or 9 cases. Nominative, accusative, genitive, dative, instrumental, ablative, locative, vocative, and allative. So, ergative, absolutive, we're still going to have the genitive. Am I right at this right? Genitive, okay. Whoops. Genitive. And then, because see, here's the thing. The fairies who will be speaking the fairy languages down here, right? These guys are super particular about their specificity, right? So they're going to be the ones that have all the sort of locative, allative, vocative, all of those cases where they get into the nitty-gritty of how words are determined, right? So I kind of want to ease off of that for the human languages. I definitely want these languages to be more complicated, but at the same time more dense than the human languages. Like, obviously there's going to be a lot of variety of how they turn out in here after all of this evolution. But yeah. I do like the instrumental case, though. I might chuck that in there. Instrumental. What other cases can we have? Or noun cases, I should say. Ablative. Expresses motion away from something. Locative. Vocative. Word that identifies an addressee. Okay. For example, in this instance, I don't know John. John is a vocative expression because it indicates the party being addressed. Allative is a type of locative case that expresses movement toward something. So it's the opposite of ablative. The indirect object of a transitive verb, the dative. Should we have a dative? I don't think we will have a dative. I think we will let that sort of evolve as an aspect, sort of as a branch off of the genitive. Because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cases to establish, and we've got 4. What was... Hold on. Ablaut. Short. So, accusative, nominative, genitive, adjectives, accusative, and nominative. So it did not use ablaut for all of the cases. But we've got a lot of ablaut to work with. They didn't have that. They did it for 5 of them because they had 5, so we need to do it for 7 because we had 7. Although, they had the 0 grade be used for genitive. I think that we should have the 0 grade used for absolutive. Although in theirs they had full grade and then lengthen E grade, so that was a nice distinction. So that like made sense. I think if we have I think W grade should be ergative absolutive. So if we have whoa. I think it makes sense to keep genitive as the 0 grade because it doesn't really go with anything. Unless we had the dative, then we can have la and lo. Actually, you know what? I think ablative, allative works well. Oh no, wait, because we could also have it a different set for adjectives. Right. Hmm. Well, okay. Here's the thing. What if we had 3 cases, right, that we mark with actually, hold on. Can I split the cell? Additional formatting. Oh, I can just unmerge it, right. So there we go. If we had these guys, because now we've got 8 to work with. If we have the front ones be nouns and the back ones be adjectives, would that... Because we've got 4, right, to work with. So if... Because there's no plain root words. Affix lacking morphemes that carry the core lexical meaning, right? About this change of short E to short O, long E, long O, or no vowel. The forms are referred to as the ablaut grades of the morpheme. Occurred both within inflectional morphology and derivational morphology. Okay. Contrasting endings, but the loss of these endings in some later languages has led to alone to identify grammatical categories, such as the modern English sing, sang, sung. Hmm. Follow a linking verb and restate the subject of that verb. Also use the nominative case. The nominative is the dictionary form of the noun. So that's sort of the plain regular version. Um and would for this would the ergative case be the plain normal or would the absolutive? I think it would be the absolutive. Would be the plain version. So I think if we have the hmm if we have the absolutive for we have nouns and we have adjectives, then if we have the ergative case be the front zero grade. So, oop. And then the absolutive be zero back grade. Then then for adjectives we have yeah, W front and W back. And now for the other two, we can just have them be L grade and R grade respectively. L front, L back, and then R front, R back. Ooh, you know what? I just encountered something whack here. We have syllabic approximants, which means that w, l, and r all act as their own thing separate from that. So if we might have to add another. Okay, hold on. All right. Um, what do I call? Okay, so this is zero grade because it is not a diphthong. What if I call this vowel grade? And then this would be. Oop, oop. Oh, there we go. This would be zero grade because, oh wait, and then, but it doesn't have a front and back distinction. It's just the w, l, r. So I'm gonna have to. Okay. I want to make sure like it all fits into ablaut. Jeez. Already spent 20 minutes before we even got to the words. I'm sorry, guys. This is important. We're building it up so that we can make words. Ooh, actually. There we go. There you go. Is this the correct? That's Arial. It's all Arial. Okay. W, l, r. So I would then merge these together and right. So, hmm. Now we've got. Oh, I need to change these to vowel front, vowel back. Now we've got an extra case that we need. But we only have one that spans both of them, both nouns and adjectives. It doesn't make sense for a genitive adjective, I don't think. That's why ablaut only had the one thing for the genitive noun. So what if instead I were to make this? I'll just move this. Yeah. There. And then this will be 0 grade proper. Yeah. Now we need another case. Instrumental, ablative, locative, vocative, allative. I want to branch off here and do something else. I want to do something different. I'm not just trying to copy from Proto-Indo-European purely. So we're gonna go through the list of glossing abbreviations for cases. Abessive case. Expressing the lack or absence of the mark noun. Absolutive, abstractive. The distinction between abstract and concrete refers to a divide between two types of entities. Okay, no. Accompanier? No. That's active voice. Adessive case. Okay, it's just a locative. Delative. No. Hmm. No. Additive. Hmm. Intensive is before. I want to have something that has to deal with exchange. Because I want the magic mechanisms of this world to influence every aspect of their culture. So at this point, humans don't have access to arcane magic because that involves harvesting it from things that live on the fairy continent, and they're not there yet. But they have druids, and they know how those work. So I want to have that be a part of their language. Because currently, at this point, ooh, I need to go check on my bread, but I'm going to explain this first. Because at this point, humans are still pretty much here. This is the sort of region that they're in. So, noun cases that have to do with exchange. Grammatical cases. Add a couple cases that have to deal with exchange. Case means to trade. Considerative. Considerative case. Here. Current evidence, conceptual adder, causative case. Yeah, that's just the abusive. Causative, conditional, conjunct, correlative, centric, cessative. Okay. Cohortive. No. Syslocative, citation form, classifier, compound, comparative, co-negative. What was I looking for again? Considerative. Conditional. Continual. Continuous aspect. Consecutive mood. John helped a Bill in Central Park. The phrase in Central Park is an adjunct. Okay. Considerative case. Denotes something that is given in. Okay. What is this? Considerative. Considerative denotes something that is given in exchange for something else. For food. This is someone's conlang. But I'm just gonna rip that. But does that really need to agree? Like, does that need an adjective form? What does that mean? Oh, wait. Duh. This means qualities. So, when the plot... Okay. So here, Fire, the frickin' Kellen and Fire exchanged strength for heat, right? So strength in this language would be considered like I exchanged considerative strong for heat. This would be the considerative case. And then a considerative noun would be like a actual noun. I traded a tree or my arm for something. Yes. Okay. Good. Um changed thing. I'm just gonna write this as that. Cool, cool, cool. There we go. Now we can actually create nouns. Very good. I will be right back, and then we will do that. I've got to go check on my bread. All right. Yeah, so I just started preheating the oven for the bread I'm making. And I will fix all that stuff into the oven in 15 minutes. But now we get to make words. So, what words would this language have? Because it's I mean, we've got some complicated stuff going on, but it freaking brain work for me here. We've got to actually make the word. Here, would the genitive precedes the head noun, but would it precede all of the object modifier? No, I think that the genitive precedes all of these things. Right. So, obviously the five senses. So, sight. Oh, these should be verbs. See, hear, taste, smell, touch. And then go, stay, start. What words would the language have? Hold on. Highly recommend Biblaridian. Very cool and awesome guy. This is the person who got me into conlanging. How to make a language.
In recent years, it's become more and more popular for fictional universes to feature fictional languages. More and more accepted for conlangs to be incorporated into films, TV shows, games...
Introduction. Part 2. Phonology, syntax, grammar, lexicon. This is what we're looking for. We've got word order. Noun incorporation.
Noun incorporation. Noun incorporation occurs when a verb and its object combine into a new word.
Oh.
Let's take our verb to hunt.
Wait. Compounding.
Time. At this point, you're free to start coining.
Wait, we missed something. The syntax. Basic word order.
Word order. Any sentence will consist of 3 primary roles: the subject, the verb, and the object. All known now.
Alright, so we are going to basically start from scratch. Instead of going out and making a huge list of stuff, we're just going to write a whole bunch of sample sentences. So, the person sees the animal. Right? So, we need a word for person, sees, and animal. We're just gonna make this simple. So we need a word for person, a word for see, and a word for animal. I'm gonna separate these into nouns and verbs. So our word for person, I want it to be related to this, wolf. Now obviously we don't have a U, so it would be whoa. And then so this counts as a single vowel. And it's specifically a back W grade. So this would be absolutive. Wait, no, this would be ergative verb ergative. Right? Yeah. No, because the subject. Right, object and subject are treated as the same. It's only the agent that's different. So, absolutive. So, this actually would make more sense if it were a vowel back. So, vowel grade back. Oh. So what if instead it was frick, wow. Oh, we also didn't establish which consonant. Man, I am all over the place. We need to establish what consonants are allowed at the start of the word. So I'm going to say all aspirateds. So word initial consonants are going to be p, t, k. Then the nasals. Frick. So m, n, and then I will copy paste that. And then all of the I'll have all of the voiced ones too. B, d, g, and then the fricatives. S, sh, h. Oh, we already determined what was word initial. Dang. Whack. So, I'm going to leave a dash where the vowel goes. The absolutive case is the dictionary form of the word. So we can only have ah and o pretty much be here. But I'm going to leave a dash just because. So we have huh. So the first syllable is, we'll have it whole. And then consonant clusters, we can have, all can't start one because it's an approximate. Now, are consonant clusters only for single syllables or just anytime consonants come together? For now, I'm going to treat it as why not just have it as mum? Because this is what it was, because originally, oh, frick, you know what else we gotta do? Should we have the case change per... No, you know what we'll do? We'll have, the vowel itself change for case, and then we'll have the ending change for class, animate versus inanimate. So, animate. Having an inanimate person doesn't make sense unless they're a corpse. So, naturally that would go down, having an inanimate... Oh, would a corpse still be animate? What can you exchange with a corpse? I don't know. We'll just make both. So, Oh, but how did this... Okay. The 5 grades of Allah in a single root is provided by different case forms of two closely related Greek. Oh, it's just shown here. So, ter, 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 tor, tor. So the main root of it. What if we have it as... Look. Right? So the main dictionary definition is look, although we can have it as this. And then word initial look. Hey, this comes in time for that super cool dorsal. Although person is going to be one of the more common words, so it should probably be very easy. So we'll just have it be look. And then for the ending, maybe if we had it like so the way this would usually be handled, because this is a proto-language, right? We would have a word meaning animate and a word meaning inanimate, and we would just tack them on to the end. So our word for animate and our word for inanimate. Damn it, you're late. It's fine. So we're gonna have extra words for these and basically tack them on to the end, because that's how this would work in a proto-language. So our word for animate should be something simple, because this is something that they have just naturally understood. Should be cell. Why not? This is an adjective, so would be front. Would it be swale? And inanimate. Oop, my timer just went off. Would be swell, and then no, because here's the thing. Okay, so for example, if something is not an object, it's called A, for example, and if it's B, so then it would be a sheep. So the way this works, in nominative accusative alignment, as it's called, there are three components, right? Subject, agent, and object. Subject is your main argument, right? Agent is only really used when there's transitive verbs. So like I give to you. I is the agent, right? It's also the subject, but here we're focusing on the fact that it's the agent. That is the person doing the stuff. You is the object, right? Give is what is called a transitive verb because it can take on an object, a direct object. But for instance, I yawn. Yawn is intransitive. It cannot take on a direct object. It can take on an indirect object if it's I yawn at you, right? But primarily in nominative accusative alignment, that's what a lot of the world uses. It's very popular. I in this one and I in this one, the subject and the agent are treated as the same and the object is different. But in ergative absolutive alignment, the agent and the object are treated as the same, while the subject is different. So that's what the difference is. Like here. This little chart explains it pretty well. So that's what we have going on here. Now we've got ablaut, which means that we switch our vowels up to change between noun cases. Think sing, sang, sung. In English, those three words are the same like root. It's just that the vowel changes to tell you all of the grammar. That's a similar thing going on here. So the way that it works in Proto-Indo-European, right? We've got pter, or this one is pterm, this one is pter, this is ptres, this is npetor, and then this one is npetor. So the root of it is PHTER. Peter. Yeah. So PHTR, right? This is the main root of it. And then they also have extra endings and stuff that go along with it, but this is the main focus. So here, this is the syllable that takes the ablaut. Or I guess the ph there, that's still. Also, pter is where the English word father comes from, in case you're wondering. Like, it means father. Pter, father. It's just I'm trying to have a similar system. So person will just be lock. I'm using the absolutive as the dictionary form. So animate is an adjective, so it would have the W. And then oh, but it would specifically be W back. It wouldn't be the genitive 0 grade. Well, we can have it so that it originally was, say, Lockswole, but then over time it turned into Lockwell. And the inanimate instead of swole will be for a second I thought you were saying Pokemon names now. Swole. Because the way this works, right, is if the noun it modifies is absolutive, then it has to use wo. But if it's ergative, then it has to use we. So it's swole or swale. And then inanimate, we can have it be won or win. I think, no, yeah, I think this works. So, look swole. And then this would be lock one, right? Oh, but then that comes into it turns into, right. It turns into this, the single consonant, right? And so this isn't a consonant cluster. This is specifically already a consonant. So this is just a single consonant. So Lokswol and Lokbon. Then our word for animal. Basically, an inanimate person is a corpse, so we'll get there. I actually have to go check on my oven. I'm making bread. I will be right back. I'm back, but I'm gonna have to dip again in 20 minutes to go check on my bread. It was very inconvenient of me to make the bread and stream at the same time, but this is what we're doing. So I'm back. You didn't notice the BRB screen had a different dream? Yeah. He dreams of bread. So here we are. So one thing I realized while I was out in Birdland is that we have a very specific set of circumstances that these are allowed to be consonants. They're allowed to be consonants, chat. So basically, I can have this be Lockweir. Right? Because this, right, it could be 0 grade technically. Or vowel front. Or W front technically. So it gives us a good allowance for being either. So we will have this be weir slash war. And this will be wan or this will be ron, or actually no. I will be Reen or Ron, depending on, right? Um, depending on what though? Whether it's front or back? Yeah, I think that'll do. Weir if it's front, war if it's back. Lokwar. And this Lokwar. And then this is Lokron. There we go. I like this. I like this so far. So Lokwar, Lokron. Although I do like how in Proto-Indo-European proper, frick, where was it? It's just the single thing. I do like that. So, what if we ended it with ear? Because what we're building right now is vowel harmony. Basically, if the root word follows a front grade, then this will be ear. And if it follows a back grade, it will be something else. Honestly, too bad gamers in here. Yeah. Listen, gamers here in our hearts and in our ovens, alright? Probably would have blessed my bread. It would be an honor. Um, and then for inanimate, then we can have um M. Right? And then on. No, it doesn't make sense to have that many irregularities. M on. What if we keep this E and A? So ir, R, maybe il, al? So the way this stands right now, this is actually locar and local. I wonder what Americans think of our word for potato chips and fries, since we call them crisps and chips. I actually don't care. Like when I make fish and chips, I call those chips, right? I call the fry. I don't say I make fish and fries. That's silly. That's a silly thing to say. Um, in America, we hold on. Crisp. So what we call crisps are actually a uh basically just a bunch of baked fruit with granola on top. And my mom actually makes a very mean pear crisp. So, but I think when the topic of like potato chips localization, people like Americans know the difference. If you say I had a bag of crisps, they're not gonna think a bag of this, right? We're not gonna think, oh, you just had a bunch of these laying around. Like we can gather stuff from context most of the time. But this is American crisp. Animal. Now we need a word for animal. Perhaps. Hmm, not. Nope. The reason I'm making sure all of these are specifically vowel backgrade is because the absolutive form is the dictionary form. Because that's the thing you find the most, and then agent gets specifically marked for yeah. Nope. And then an inanimate animal, inanimal if you will. Uh, not bar. Sorry, not par. And then this is no par. No par versus no par. And then word for a C is just a verb. Word. So kind of like science words where the animal is called pig, but it has some long dumb official name. I guess. Well, it's more like sing, sang, sung, right? This is the present form, right? This is the we've got two past forms here. Uh, sang and sung are forms of the verb sing. Sang is the past tense form. It's an I sang, an archipelago. Sung is past participle form. I have sung, right? So the only thing that is different here is the vowel. So the only thing that is different between look lake and we'll say oh wait, hold on. Look, that's would be considered an L grade monophthong. That's not good. See, in this way, making words is kind of like a puzzle, but it'll pay off when we have a super pretty language. This is the most I've actually thought about phonoaesthetics in my entire life. So, look. That means because it's law and law. Law. Count as back vowels. This is a toughie. So basically what we need to do is we need to find a way to make this the only interpretation we can make is vowel grade. So and o will both read as L grade, even though they're both back vowel grade. What if we made it H instead? So it's hokar. Hokar and hokal. And then instead of nopar, we can have Snowdar? Snowdall? So we're probably going to end up ripping all of this out and making it all over again later. But I think this is good for now. So basically hook versus hick versus, and actually we can actually make one of these ha. So hakar, because for vowel grade, and o both count as back vowels. So just draft one, yeah, pretty much. But it'll set us up for success later. So hook versus hick. Yeah, huck, hick, and can we? And then, yeah. Lock. and rock. These are all front, sorry. Clock. And then prick. Oh, look at that. We got it set up. So hock, heck, clock, heck. That is the different and then actually look. Yeah, let me just orient these around. And then herk. We have something like herk or hook. There we go. These are the different inflectional forms of a person. So heck, hock, hook, hluck, hlock, herk. So this is the ergative form, this is the absolutive form, this is the genitive form, this is the considerative form, and this is the instrumental form. Considerative means that this is an object offered in exchange for stuff like druidic magic. And then other parts of their language as well. Instrumental is basically the instrument used to perform the verb. So this is for the people that enslave the fairies, right? Not yet. At this point, they don't have access to arcane magic because they haven't traveled to the fairy continent. Currently, at this point in their development, humans are here. Just sort of starting to come around. Some travel off here, some travel off in this direction, some up. So, first, they start off in this sort of like area, right? This is where humans originate and start develop sentience and stuff. A major like civil war almost happens between two groups, which I'll get to naming. But then one group goes off and populates Volthos, and the other stays sort of in the Ash Empire. Volthos and Ash both independently, parts of them split off to go to what will eventually be Indaria. And then people from Ash, once more of this is sort of set up, go off to make the Wolvraic Kingdom, which will then fall, and then in a sort of coup will be regenerated into Terius by a humanitarian group. That's sort of the trajectory there. Oh, and then all of these can also be so Hakir, Hakar, and then this can sort of choose between front and back because there's no front and back for 0 grade. So we will have it be treated as back. This is actually technically front, so Hakir, and then this is also front. So Hrekir. So Hekir, Hakar, Hwakar, Hlakir, Hrekir. Those are the different and then that's just for animate. If it was inanimate, it would be Hakil, Hakal, Hwakal, Hlakil, and Hrekil. There we go. Also, since they will eventually end up enslaving the fairies, would they use inanimate words to describe fairies since they're seen as property and not living things, or is the language not quite that strict? Again, not yet. We'll get there. They actually refer to them as animals first. Which oop, my bread. I will be right back. I'm gonna take a picture of it and post it as a community post real quick. I have returned. Just 150 subscribers get a random picture of bread in their feed. No. 160. You put respect on my name. Right. So basically, this is the dip. And also, there's going to be some like instrumental stuff in referring to fairies, because at some point they use them for their magic. Or actually, no, they would use the rune stone to take the magic from the fairies. So that's a little mix of considered and instrumental. But these cases are going to get all shuffled around and stuff. Like Proto-Indo-European had a had ablative, locative, vocative, allative cases. We don't have that in English, so obviously these are subject to change throughout the language itself as it evolves. But yeah. Now we need a word for C. We don't have to follow ablaut for verbs, so petty. Yeah, it turns out a good majority of my viewers on my second channel is 7-year-olds. It's a rite of passage, really. I don't like these words, snowdar and snowdoll. So, we will have it. Bokwa. So, bokwar and bokwal. Like Skibidi Toilet episode 6. Check the video thing and it showed what can only be described as brain rot. Skibidi Toilet episode 676 full episode. Damn. No spoilers. I haven't made it past season 1. So, now an hour and a half into the stream, we can finally construct our first sentence. So, C's, or C, I should say, that is a transitive verb, which means that our person will be in the ergative case, which means that we will have, our ergative form is hakir. So, hakir. C, that is petit, the animal, which is absolutive. So that is bakwar. Hakir petit, Hakir petit, bakwar. There we go. I mess up a lot of my aspirations, so petit petit, hekir, petit, bokwar. So it's bokwar, because qua is one thing. Idiot37, hi, hello, welcome to stream. We just made our first sentence. Hekir petit bokwar. Very awesome. And following this, we can then continue to make lots of words. What this? We're making languages. We're making, well, currently a language for a book I'm writing. This is World Building Wednesday. It's what we've been waiting for. Sheep big. Ooh, we get to make actual, like, specific animals. Goat. Well, currently we're just making a bunch of sample sentences.
Languages distinguish between these three roles.
The man sees the dog.
Languages that put the languages first word order to that later on. Object sees the animal. We'd say it like this.
So this is how he's set up. Oh, that's right. We have SOV. That's right. So it's actually Hekir Bokwar Petit. There we go. This is how it's done. There we go. Nice. Very good. An actual sentence, the sheep is big and white. In order to say that, so the sheep is big and white. Let's break it down. So our subject is the sheep, right? Then our verb is but then this splits down into the object, right? Which is big and white. And then the actual verb itself is. So the sheep, big and white, is the proper syntax in our language. We don't have a word for the yet, so we're just going to write sheep, big and white is. This is actually a very important word, is, right here. This is the copula. So, we will have it be sail, right? Actually, we can have it be anything. I forgot all that. Big and white are adjectives, aren't they? Yes. Well, okay. Adjectives can also be the object. It's not specifically having to be nouns. Because this verb, it means the sheep has these qualities. So, Gwe. I think that's good. Gwe. That can be our copular verb. Although, frick. Doesn't count word initially. Unless we add qua and gua. There we go. Now it does. It's only cheating if you think about it. So, sheep. I'm just going to use animal for now. So, this is actually an intransitive verb. Is it? No. No, it's not. It can take on an object. So yeah. The sheep, the ergative form is a front vowel. So be. So it would be bequeer, bequeer, big and white. So adjectives, fun fact about adjectives. Adjectives actually stem, so like the adjective big stems from the word meaning big thing, a thing that is big. So animal is big thing, right? Which we can have in this language. But the fact that we have specific adjective forms, I think that we're fine just referring to it as animal is big. So bequeer, we can have adjective. We'll have adjectives agree with animate or animacy. So big. For big, we can have, again, this is just the absolute form. So vowel back. Motto. Right? Are we allowed to do that? Yes. Yes, we are. Now, no. I will have it be mot. And then matar and matal. Because when we start getting multiple vowels in a word, that makes ablaut complicated. Not the brightest tool in the shed. You don't know where north, east, west, south is. Just say left, right, up, down. Like, you know where news is, but not relative to my location. What about forward and back? Can I understand Minecraft coordinates, but not IRL maps? I believe in you. You just gotta put in the effort. Adjective. So colors. I can go way deep into color theory here. Like how the word for white and the word for black both came from the Proto-Indo-European word bale. Sorry, bale? Nope. Bale. I can't aspirate my voice. Which meant to burn, right? So the word for bright, right, like any bright color was referred to as that because fire was bright. But then black also came from that because of the charred remains of the fire. So we could probably do something similar to that. Colors actually have an origin? Yeah. So human language creates words for red and green, then yellow, then blue, in sort of pretty much that order. Like for example, in Homer's The Odyssey, he never once references the color blue. He describes things that are blue as dark or brazen, like the sky and the ocean, but he doesn't ever call them blue. And it's suggested that ancient Greek did not have a word for blue until after that was written. So he just described the quality of the color instead of like a specific word for the color itself. I learned how to speak with an American accent. Good for you. It's strange that color comes at different times. Yeah, well, red is the color of blood, right? That's important. Green is the color of plants. Yellow in terms of light is in between red and green. And then blue is just not as important. So we should have a verb meaning to burn. Actually, you know what? We can have light be a separate quality because Proto-Wolveraic can actually can take the quality of being light from things because of the druid magic. So you can go up to a candle and ask for its light-giving abilities and then trade with it, and then you receive the ability to glow. So glow, and then we'll have the word for white be referred to as like an adjective form of glow or bright. I mean, some language is pretty straightforward, like Spanish white being blanca. Yeah. Well, the word for blank, that it also came from bale. So blank and black. And then the word for white, I think was Germanic in origin. But the reason that Spanish is blanca is because it comes from the Romance languages. For B, Hiki. Right? Can we do that? Are we allowed? Yes. So Hiki, and then an adjective form of that would basically be what is allowed? Hello. We need to determine stress. Stress for phonotactics. For words that have multiple syllables, I think we need stress. It's head initial, so it makes sense if we had the first syllable be stressed. Hakar versus hakar, or hukar versus hukar. It's kind of difficult to tell the difference, but for words that have like 3 syllables, I think we'll be good with that. Instead of peaky, we'll just have it be peak. So the adjective for bright will be basically a nominalized version of the verb. So the verb itself will, if we have it be, well, it starts from being conservative. So light itself. Well, no, light itself would be considered animate, right? Like it wouldn't have an inanimate form. Like for the animals, an inanimate person is just a corpse, and an inanimate animal is just also a carcass. But I think they would see light as animate. And they would see fire as animate too. So yeah, if we have hook. Because I also, okay, phonoaesthetics, right? Kiki versus boba. The Kiki versus Boba effect. Most people who look at these think that the sharp one is Kiki and then the round one is Boba because of phonoaesthetics, right? Kiki just sounds sharper than Boba. But I also want that for like stuff like light, like think sparkling or fire. Oh, I guess coming from fire. Book. Also, we can't have bookwar and bookwall, because it's not word initial. So, we have mokar, monka s. Can't believe this is just a draft though. Okay, now I've made an entire language to make the actual language. Wait, so what would about reflection? Would that not count as light since it's the reflection? Well, you gotta think. These guys don't understand much about the world. Because we're coming at this with a very modern time frame, but this is a proto language. Humans are just coming around. Like, when was PIE spoken? Approximately 4500 BCE to 2500 BCE. Late Neolithic. This is old. I come back a changed man. Profile picture? Yeah, it's pretty nice. Would you use it to describe different types of light? Not exactly. Well, you know, the boba is ambient or soft light, while kiki could be used for more direct or strong light. That was just an example. I'm not gonna actually use kiki and boba. But it's a proto language. This is, believe it or not, this is supposed to be simple. I know we've got all of this like complicated things for like determining noun case and grammar and whatnot. But the words themselves aren't really all that complicated. Person, big thing, bright, you know? Like it's so we'll have light be pok. There won't be an inanimate form. Uh and this is important because this will be Pokir, I guess. Or sorry, Pokar. This is important for inflection. Oh shoot, verbs have to agree with animacy. That's why we have them. So do they actually? No, they don't. It's just adjectives. Yeah. So anyway. So pokar comes from the considerative plokar. Or I guess the considerative would be sort of one of their first ways of talking. No, actually, humans aren't dumb. Light in and of itself is just a thing that they know because they have eyes, right? But it's glowing and light that come from it. So, I think having something like pluk, although that's technically genitive, considerative plak. I don't like the K there. I think it should be Plosar? Yeah. And then plus. Plusra? I think that's fine. Plusra. Because it comes from this. Right? But, the test isn't that hard. Bright. So bright comes from this. We're 2 layers deep now. Are you sure humans aren't dumb? I mean, deep fried butter exists. Right, but I mean, anyway, uh, moving on before you can call me out on that. Bright. So we've got sort of um a line of reasoning here. So light, pulsar, or often light would be no. This is still absolutive, right? Um, I don't think light would have an ergative form. Actually, no, it would, because light hurts my eyes. Yeah. Um, glow lights, plastra, and then I'm allowed to do that, right? Plastra. That's one syllable technically. This is a one syllable word. Plastra. Bright. A result of that. Adjective for absolutive would be w. And then this would be actually it comes from big thing, right? So we would have matar and matal. But the adjective form would be mortar and mortal. Right. Because of the W form. So this is plasra. And then actually plasra. I think that works better. Bright as an adjective form of light was the rules. Believe it or not, in terms of conlangs, this is actually a pretty like straightforward layout. It's just a little jumbled over here because I'm working at the minute. 7 minutes left. What? Dropped frames? Apparently my connection is really bad. I wonder why that is. Anyway, where was I going with this? There's no inanimate form of Quoshra. Actually, there should be an inanimate form of Quoshra. Quoshra. And here's where the funny things come in. Because at this point in the language, basically, we are not capturing when language first started happening in this world. This is a snapshot of sort of around the middle time where this language was widely spoken amongst humans. So it's had time to evolve a little bit. So animate Pwoshra. So would this just gain another R? Pwoshrar. So Pwosh would be, or Pwosher. Yeah. Pwosherar. Pwoshrar. And then Pwoshral. Pwoshral. Because inanimate things can be bright. So light is the thing. The verb to glow comes from taking light from something. It's a considerative. And then bright. Right. And the difference between plasher and plashar, plashir, is plashir would be the noun form, right? Because of the ear suffix. But that sort of, or plaisir is the noun form. But plashra, because the SI, the C sound, turning into sh is sort of a palatalization. That's a thing I'm allowed to do, basically. Literally everything else with internet other than YouTube is down. Whack. Hey, look at that. My YouTube stream just came back up. I don't know how I'm even watching this stream like now. Sheer force of will and spite. Yeah. So big, and we'll call it bright. Yeah. So now, yeah. The sheep, which we're going to use animal, so mokwar. That is the ergative. So mokwar, we need mekwir. Big motar, and I don't have a word for and. And is technically a particle. I don't think we need and here. I think we can just have that be handled by listing multiple things. So it's also animate, so shrar, and then gue. So mekwir motar, po. I got that wrong. So that's shrar gue. Mekwir motar. Wow, I cannot talk. Mekwir motar shrar gue. There we go. So a person sees the animal. So we will have person see, or person animal see. And then the sheep is big and white becomes sheep big bright. Copula. Yeah. So Hekir Bokwar Petit and Mekwir Mortar Poshrargue. Stream ended for me for some reason. Whack. Sorry about that. I think it's fine on my end, right? It still say I'm live? Yeah, it still says I'm live. It's fine now? Whack. Very silly stuff. Okay. So, I think it's just internet connection. Yeah. So,
Does the adjective come before?
Right.
Or are simply nouns, recognizably distinct from now?
Verb-like adjectives?
Many languages have adjectives that are recognizably distinct even from both of them. It's our phrase.
Okay.
So that means the big thing, the animal, sees.
Right.
In this type of construction, the big another sees.
Yeah.
Then the big thing will now. So for our language, in English we call them
prepositions, postpositions. Yeah.
Will depend in languages. Adpositions are transparently related to nouns. In others, adpositions can be seen to relate to verbs.
Okay.
For our language, we're going to use adpositions derived from verbs. So, a verb like to sit could be used to
hold on. How do you make Oh, okay. So it's face the mountain. What? It's face we can have, I think we will have verb like postpositions. So, we will have noun-like adjectives, or mostly noun-like adjectives, because we do have some adjectives that are derived from verbs. Then we will have mostly verb-like postpositions. Yeah. So I know we've hit 2 hours, but I want to keep going a little. So to say that the person stays at the river, I think it'll be person, river, stay.
Are transparently related to nouns. In others, adpositions can be seen to relate to verbs.
Right.
For our language, like to sit could be used to mean that a subject is stationary and located at or near the object.
Okay.
So a phrase like the
So this could be analyzed as
the rock sits could over time take on the interpretation of the man is at or on the rock.
right.
And since in this language the verb always comes last and our adpositions derive from verbs, this means our adpositions will
right.
Lastly, let's talk possessed, sometimes called the
Okay, so does that mean that person, river, stay is the same thing as the person is at? How do you tell the difference between the two in conversation? Context, I guess. Yeah, so adposition, we will have at, on, near. Then we'll have towards, away, inside. So these are going to be verb derived. But my thing is, at some point, will they change? Because I'm trying to determine whether or not, like, the person, river, stay, the word we have for stay here, will that permanently turn into the adposition? Or will it just always be both a verb and adposition, depending on context? Because here, the person stays at the river. We've got 2 words there. But if person stay river, then that means that the person stays that's either intransitive or transitive. That being the river. I think we have a specific word meaning place. But then that would turn it into noun-like postpositions. Meaning that verbs are very separated. What if instead of having what if we have noun-like positions, but verb-like adjectives? But then why would the adjectives agree for animacy, is the thing. I think we just deal with it. Person stay is at the river. Person river stay. Ooh, wait. The difference between the person is at the river and the person stays at the river is the verb itself. Because person river stay versus person river stay is. Right? Oh, the difference, the big difference is whether the verb is at the front or the back, because we have optional VSO. So stay, person, river, right? This can be the add position. The person is at the river, right? But this is the person stays by the river. There we go. So this will be the word for stay. This will be the word for towards sea, maybe? I think this is the word for go. Leave. And then inside is to hold, perhaps? Because the person is in the cave, right? Is person cave hold. The cave holds the person. Is. Yeah. The person cave hold. The person is in the cave. The cave holds the person. For this one, it would be cave person hold. Stay, right? Maybe? I think have. The cave has the person. I think that's a better construction. So now we just need river, cave, stay, have. Actually, we have go, stay, leave, have. There we go. And then adjectives for a river adjective form. Fatherless, adjective. I think we will determine this next time. I've already gone over. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you think I deserve any of those things, or don't if you think I don't, and to lighten the side of my suffering. If you can set your notification settings to all while you're at it, that would save Ms. Notification Bell on paperwork, me on labor costs, everyone a whole lot of stress. Again, I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. UTC. Anyway, I gotta go. Thanks for watching. Bye.